Hello, Mr. Bush here with Science Time. Today we're going to be looking at the difference between a chemical and physical change and the 4 signs of a chemical change. So, starting off, basically a physical change will not change the actual substance. The properties are going to remain the same. A good example of this is going to be boiling water. When you boil water, it turns into steam. But as soon as the steam cools down, it turns right back into water. Or if you freeze water, whenever the ice melts, it turns right back into water and has the same exact properties as whenever it started off. However, if you look at a chemical reaction like a fire, whenever the wood and the oxygen burn together, they make ash and smoke, which is carbon dioxide. And basically, it's going to have completely different properties. The carbon dioxide, you can't breathe it in like you would normal oxygen. Ash is very different than wood, so you can see the properties have changed. And even if you try something like cooling it down, it's not going to turn back into what it originally was. You can't turn ash and smoke back into wood by cooling it down. Alright, however, now the best sign for a chemical change has occurred is, did you make a new substance with new properties? So if a new substance formed, is definitely a chemical reaction. However, when you're working in the lab, a magical sign is not just going to pop up and say, this is a new substance with new properties. So you kind of look for 4 key signs of a chemical change. Now the 4 key signs of the chemical change are: a gas is produced, color change, temperature change, and a precipitant. Now, basically all 4 of these don't have to occur in every single chemical reaction. However, if you see 1 or more of them, it's a good sign a chemical change has occurred. Let's look at each one in a little bit more detail. Now, bubbling or a gas being produced is a good sign of a chemical change. The top example up there, we have magnesium being mixed with hydrochloric acid, and you can see the acid reacting and air bubbles forming as it basically is forming a new compound. Those bubbles are actually going to be hydrogen gas, and basically the chlorine is going to react to form a new salt. If you look over there, you have once again hydrochloric acid reacting with chalk to form hydrogen gas and a new compound. Now, a key point I want to make here is, if you notice, the gas was formed when you mixed one substance in with another. This is not boiling. Boiling is not going to be a chemical change because you had to heat it up until it basically started to boil. Whereas this is just mixing 2 substances together and you're forming a gas. Now let's go ahead and look at the next one. Now, a color change is pretty simple. You mix 2 substances together and they form a new color. Example, you see the yellow liquid up there being mixed with the clear liquid and you form a new red substance. Or you have the copper wire being mixed with the liquid and it turns the liquid blue. Now, one key thing I want to emphasize here is, it's not you mix 2, let's say, red and a clear liquid together and it gets lighter. It's you have to form a new color, like whenever you burnt the wood, the ash is a different color from the wood. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our next sign. Now, a temperature change is pretty simple. It's basically when the 2 substances react, the temperature goes up or the temperature goes down. Now, I didn't have a good picture for when the temperature basically goes down, but you have in the picture above, you have thermite reacting with oxygen, and you can kind of see the temperature is going up. Now, the last sign is a precipitant. It's basically whenever you mix 2 liquids together and a solid forms, and typically the solid's going to sink to the bottom. And it often also involves a color change, as you can see up there above. Now, just to recap, a chemical change completely changes the substance's properties. And there's 4 main signs. If you see gas being produced, a temperature change, a color change, or a precipitant. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.